The House will come to order. Prayer by the chaplain.
Good afternoon. It's a privilege for me to be with you today. I invite you now to join me in a brief time of reflection to center your thoughts and hearts before you go about the business of the day. Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu is quoted as saying, "There are three things I hold fast and prize. First is gentleness, second is frugality, third is humility, which keeps me from putting myself before others. Be gentle, and you can be bold. Be frugal, and you can be liberal. Avoid putting yourself before others, and you can be a leader among people." You are the representatives of the people of this great state of Minnesota. You have been elected by your peers to be leaders and to conduct the business of governance. As always, there is a plethora of opportunities and challenges for you to consider. Jobs, transportation, health care, veterans, violence, education, and so much more are on your plates each day. My prayer for each member is that you be given the gifts of wisdom and discernment in the decisions you will make, that you be given strength and good health for each day, and that you remember the privilege it is to be chosen for leadership in the state. I pray that you be a blessing to all who serve today and in the days ahead. This is my heartfelt prayer for each representative. Amen.
The chaplain for today is Reverend Ralph Olson from First Lutheran Church, St. Paul, Minnesota. Pledge of Allegiance. Please remain standing and recite the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The clerk will take the roll. The clerk will close the roll. Quorum is present. The clerk will read the journal of the preceding day.
Journal of the House, 89th session, 74th day, St. Paul, Minnesota, Tuesday, March 29th, 2016.
If there is no objection, further reading of the journal will be dispensed with, and the journal will be approved as corrected by the chief clerk. Hearing no objection, the journal is approved as corrected by the chief clerk. Reports of standing committees and divisions. A copy of this order of business has been placed on each member's desk. If there's no objection, the reports will be adopted. Hearing no objection, the reports are adopted. Second reading of House files.
Second reading, House File number 200.
Second reading.
Second reading, House File 1674.
Second reading.
Second reading, House File 2540.
Second reading.
Second reading, House File 2585.
Second reading.
Second reading, House File 2602.
Second reading.
Second reading, House File 3019.
Second reading.
Second reading, House File 3081.
Second reading.
Second reading, House File 3167.
Second reading.
Second reading, House File 3209.
Second reading.
Second reading, House File 3402.
Second reading.
Second reading, House File 3478.
Second reading.
Second reading, House File 3482.
Second reading. Introduction of bills. The following House files have been offered for introduction today. The chief clerk will report the House files and give them their first reading.
Introduction and first reading of House Files 3700 through 3725.
First reading, House files 3700 through 3725. Messages from the Senate.
Message from the Senate. Mr. Speaker, I hereby announce the passage by the Senate of the following Senate file herewith transmitted. Senate file number 2614, and the message is signed Joanne M. Zoff, Secretary of the Senate.
First reading of Senate files.
First reading, Senate file number 2614, an act relating to higher education. The bill is being referred to the Committee on Higher Education Policy and Finance.
Motions and resolutions. There are copies of the non-controversial motions at the House desk and online. If there's no objection, we'll take action on these motions first. Hearing no objection, the motions prevail. That's it.
Do you need the message?
Announcements.
Or it's in thrown in the basket.
The member from Washington, Representative Detmer. For what purpose do you rise?
Mr. Speaker, point of personal privilege.
State your point of personal privilege.
Members, if I could just have your attention real quick. You know I don't get up and speak that much, but on Monday, April 4th, we have a special, some special guests will be in my Veterans Division Committee. There will be two World War II veterans. I wanted them to come onto the House floor, but that would be a long day for them. And I would encourage you to stop by. The committee starts at 12:45. I expect the two World War veterans to be in my committee meeting approximately 1:30. They're from my town, from Forest Lake. A little bit of history. They served together in the same division during World War II in the Japan campaign. And when they got back from the war, Francis, I'll just use their first names right now. Francis went back to Williston, North Dakota, worked there his whole life, raised a family. L. Ewert, a good friend of mine that's from Forest Lake that I've known for years. They found themselves after 70 years as roommates in Birchwood Care Center and a rehab. They hadn't seen each other for 70 years. I got to go and talk to them both, and they're quite the pair, quite the characters. But I've asked them to come down to my committee, and we'll recognize them. I know General Nash's office will be there to recognize them. Also, Commissioner Shelito will be there to recognize them. I also have House some information to give them, to hand out to them. And then I'm going to give some time, a couple of minutes, just to share some of their perspectives, some words of wisdom for us. So again, Monday, that's next Monday, April 4th, and stop by my committee. And well, let's pack the place. Let's pack the place for these two heroes from World War II. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Announcements. The member from Blue Earth, Representative Considine.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just a quick announcement, a reminder. Today is Mankato Day at the Capitol, and we'll be having the reception from 4 to 6 in the atrium in the Senate building. Thank you.
Any further announcements? The member from Hennepin, Representative Pepin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I move that when the House adjourns today, it adjourns until 4 p.m. Thursday, March 31st, 2016.
Representative Pepin moves that when the House adjourns today, it adjourns until 4 o'clock p.m. Thursday, March 31st, 2016. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The motion prevails. Representative Pepin.
I move that the House do now adjourn.
Representative Pepin moves that the House do now adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The motion prevails, and the House stands adjourned until 4 o'clock p.m. Thursday, March 31st, 2016.